been times where I've done virtual therapy with Kingston and he like literally is like, hi, and he clicks it and turns it off.
Yeah, like 5 or 10 minutes into the session, we're like, you're done?
So speaking of chasing the standard, let's talk about the Broncos real quick, obviously.
Good segue.
The Chargers fan base is really, really cool, really, really welcoming, mostly, especially if you're at SoFi.
The preparation for...
Where's my Jayhawk question at, man? That's what I want to know.
It's coming right here.
Oh, if they take one message from this book, I would say not to compare yourself with others.
Ooh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to West War Room Rivals. We've got the full gang in. Well, part of the full gang in. Matt is joining us from a remote location. Matt, how's it going, bud? Oh,
he's been having some technical. Yeah, he's been having some technical issues. So
yeah,
he's in a world far, far away in an undisclosed location. So he did give us a heads up that this may happen. So he'll work on it, and if we can't get it figured out, then.
Hold on, maybe this is. There we go. Are we back, Matt?
Yep, we're back. I couldn't, for some reason, after the intro, I couldn't hear anyone. So I'm like, let me try and leave and come back in.
All right. Did you like our season 2 intro? What'd you think of it?
I did. I thought it was awesome.
Very cool.
It was awesome.
Right.
It was awesome. You know, got Garrett in there and Chris with his Jayhawk question. So
I know it was roasting Corey for not asking Jayhawk questions.
And I was the one who was getting ready to ask it too. I was just like, duh, we're the KU fans, so of course you're gonna have KU questions on here, man.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and also, guys, I'm back. So was on vacation for a minute. The gentleman in the corner of there, the Shoviks, held it down. They had Maggie Johnson on, Mizzou fan and also podcaster. So go check that out on the YouTube channel while you're there. Subscribe while you're there. But guys, as you can see, there's the 4 of us on the screen, and we've kind of been keeping this under wraps a little bit. We have not had a Chargers rep for a few weeks, and our buddy Caleb, he decided to move on from the War Room, which we love and respect him still a friend of the show, but he asked if he can step away. So we did some recruiting, as you guys saw on social media. We asked for some Charger fans, and we had a lot of responses, which was great. So Charger Bolt fam, you guys showed out for your content creators, but we have found a new member to the War Room. And tonight we are introducing a friend that I've actually worked with prior to doing this when I was doing Drew Code. And he's also had a previous podcast, and he's had great guests on his podcast. So without further ado, we're going to complete the War Room fam and be joined by Ethan Haas, our new Chargers rep. What up, Ethan?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for joining the team. How's been your experience dealing with us in the group chat the last couple days?
Oh, it's been good. I think it's more of they have to deal with me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I like to make some unhinged things, so don't worry. They'll keep coming.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I mean, if you think about it, in our pre-show, I relayed on some information to you that you probably didn't know about me, and you took it in with open arms. So I think we're beyond the unhinged. So.
That's all right. I know. Don't worry. You guys will keep getting just the strangest tweets of all time from the depths of the Twitterverse.
I can't wait. Actually, that's been kind of a funny thing is we're seeing a lot of these weird, and I don't know, like we saw one that was about Herbert and Mahomes, that comparison, which is kind of weird, but it's been kind of refreshing to see like those weird X posts that you've been sharing. So I didn't know that those were in there until you were sharing them. And so it's just been a delight. But Ethan, go ahead and introduce the audience, who you are, if you've done what the podcast that you did before, and then what made you become a Charger fan.
Yeah, I'll start from the back. So I'm originally from San Diego. So I grew up during the LT Phillip Rivers years when we were ripping off AFC West title after title.
Mm-hmm.
I was in middle school at the time. So it was a very exciting time to be a Chargers fan. I was also a Padres fan, which was a lot less exciting. And then we had no basketball team. The Lakers weren't good at the time, which is like what naturally people in San Diego would be.
Sure.
So I've stayed a Chargers fan this whole time. Everyone's number one question for me is, why am I still a Chargers fan? I was at college when they moved, and like I was mentally prepared for the move. And I'm one of the people who actually blames the city more than the team.
Okay.
Which I know is like the golden curse of all San Diegans to admit. But the city was having no part in actually building the stadium just as much as the team wasn't. And it ultimately led to a cordial breakup between the two. Obviously, would I rather them be in San Diego? Yes. But I actually live in LA now. I live 20 minutes from SoFi Stadium, and I'm a season ticket holder. So I watch them a lot more in LA than I did in San Diego. So it kind of works out for me.
Yeah, it does. I had mentioned this too on previous episodes that I believe the Chargers should have gone to Las Vegas and the Raiders should have gone back to LA, but it all just kind of mixed around when all these teams were moving. And for a long time, it looked like the Chargers didn't have an LA base, and now it's starting to slowly grow, like one of those small wildfires that are kind of building up. So you feel like when you go over to Chargers camp that LA is now starting to accept the Chargers?
I don't know, accept the Chargers is the way, but I'm going to give the organization a ton of credit because they knew they weren't going to get the built-in Raiders fan base in LA. They knew to get those transplant, like Rams fans as well. So they're really going after like younger demographics. They're trying to get kids, teenagers to become fans of the team. They through great social media presence, which is, again, every Charger fan knows our Super Bowl every single year is the schedule release. And it was this year too. And they just knock every social media team out of the water. And that's really what they're going after. And I think it's starting to pay off. Like last year was the first year as a Chargers fan I felt like the stadium was mostly like at least half full. Like there were years where I'd go, like I went to the Raiders game 3 years ago in LA, and I swear there were more Raiders fans in LA than when I went to Vegas and saw the Chargers play. I think there were more Charger fans in Vegas than there were in LA that year.
No, that's 100% true. Yeah.
So, I mean, I know the Raiders are also struggling with kind of a similar problem of all of their fan base right now is in the Bay Area or LA, and they're having trouble getting people to go to Vegas. And I think the Chargers are going through similar growing pain, just like the Rams are. I mean, you look at those Rams 49ers games, they're just seas of red.
Yeah. Well, what makes it tough for like the Raiders, and we'll move on to where we kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the show, but for like the Raiders, their fan base is not the most rich, we'll say. Like it is very much a fan base of like poverty or urban. And so to go to Vegas and to purchase those tickets is super expensive. So
yeah,
like it's hard to spend $350 on a ticket. That's not your plane. That's not your hotel. That's not any of that stuff. And Vegas is, you know, a traveler city for the world, not just for California. So that's one of the things that makes Raider Nation fan bases tough to go and transition to Las Vegas, even though they've got a great fan base that travels with them. But like for those that are like where I'm at or up north or whatever, it's hard to go all the way to Vegas and spend that kind of money for one game that may or may not be a good game. So,
well, if you were good like the hockey team, it wouldn't be too bad.
You know what? If we were good like the WNBA team as well, it wouldn't be that bad. But what do they got? 3 championships, and we don't even have a playoff win between that. So, all right, guys, let's dive into it. So, Shovix, do you guys want to kick us off on the first topic?
Yeah, so I actually was able to do a TikTok live. Obviously, that was around the time Cody had left to go on vacation when the schedules were released. So really, it's just we've had a chance to kind of look at the schedules and break down, you know, kind of what's been going on. So I kind of want to start getting, you know, everyone's perspective because as Ethan had alluded to, I mean, schedule release is like another holiday, essentially, just because everyone's so ready to go with, you know, what's the Chargers social media team going to do? And they didn't disappoint, obviously, this go around. I thought they went a little lighter than what they've done in years past, but it was still solid. So I kind of want to start with the worst team first. Cody, give us kind of your breakdown. And do you see that 6 to 8 win range that we kept talking about the last few weeks?
I definitely see 6, 7 is a bit rich in my opinion for now. Our strength of schedule, according to this, and again, this is 6, 7. According to this, we're ranked 7th, ironically, in strength of schedule compared to 2025. And we have no primetime games. So really, like the NFL that isn't buying us as well. So if they really thought that Fernando Mendoza or the team that we put together would look entertaining on the field, they probably would have thrown a primetime game. And it's not. Like clearly we are, bottom of the division for a reason. We have got to prove ourselves. And looking at some of the games, we have some mixture of competitive games, divisional games, and it really is just to see what the Raiders have at the first 6 weeks. I think that tail end of the middle of the schedule is where we're going to find out if the Raiders are worth anything. But outside of that, I mean, the schedule is fine. I mean, last year I had high hopes for it. This year it's more like 6 wins is probably where we're comfortable at it, saying like we can probably get to 7, a little ambitious.
Yeah. What about the toilet bowl for week 1 of the Raiders Dolphins? Like,
it's a primetime game. What are you talking about?
Your season with a bunch of like hot garbage. I mean, nobody's going to watch them besides the fans, but still, like, they at least want one bad team to get off on the right foot, I guess.
I mean, someone's got to be 1-0 when we get out of that game, right?
Don't have to. You guys can equally be bad and tie.
Yeah. So you have the schedule up right now. So what anything kind of stick out to, is there like, so remember last year, for those of you that watched we kind of talked about quarters, right? Like quarters of the season, like you're going 4 games, how are you going to settle your first 4 games to your next 4? Do they have like maybe that little quarter of a schedule that maybe, you may see some, maybe some surprises?
No. I mean, they have a tougher schedule than I thought. I mean, their second 4-week stretch goes Patriots, Bills, Rams, and then Jets.
Right.
They actually have a tough. I know it's because we play the NFC West, so that's going to add a nice layer of competition in there. But really, probably their final 4. It starts with Denver and ends with Chiefs, but they get the Titans and Cardinals in between that. I still think the Titans will be better than what people think, but you still don't know until they prove it.
Right.
But that will be the best 4-week stretch. That might even be Mendoza time at that point.
Sure.
But I personally was shocked with how difficult their schedule looked for the last place team.
Yeah, and in last season we talked about like what Corey alluded to, the quarters of it. Like there's a quarter of a stretch where you can probably get on a run. And there's another one where like you got to leg it out, and another one where you might have some relief. Here, it's almost like every 2 weeks the Raiders are playing a playoff team and then a divisional opponent. So really, like if we're going to steal one, it's if we're going to catch any of these teams complacent. Like maybe I can make an argument that we might get lucky against the Patriots again, because maybe, they're going through something, or the Bills maybe because they have a new head coach. But
you're just talking about your ass now.
Well, I'm just saying, like there's only a couple of games that I can see.
Those aren't the two.
You're not going to surprise anybody you won't. You'll go 0-2 in those games.
Okay, I'm not saying that we're going to go 0-2.
That's why saying steal one.
Yeah.
If you're stealing one, you're stealing one against the Jets.
The Jets.
I don't know if that's stealing one.
Yeah, right. Like,
I have to agree, but I also have to disagree that you just said that those are the best teams on their schedule. The Rams and Seahawks are the best teams on all of our schedules.
Okay, 2 of the best teams, not the 2 best teams. They're 2 of the best teams that are
maybe the Niners I can probably see, only because like they might be 3rd in their division.
But quit picking playoff teams.
That's all we have on our schedule.
Wait,
like,
you really don't think the Raiders could catch one winning team by storm? I mean, they have a really good offense.
You want me to say the Jets? They're not even going to be like, they're going to be in the same place as we are in their respective division. What are we talking about?
Matt, go ahead.
So every year I kind of want to, like, even though it's the Raiders and I laugh at them every year because, you guys suck, but
Matt, watch what you say, bud. Watch what you say.
But I don't know, something, and I'm not saying like they're guaranteed to have a winning record. They're guaranteed to have 6 wins or anything. But one of the things I talked about with you last year, Cody, when we first started the show, was that whole team needs a culture change. Well, now you have it. You have Clint Kubiak at head coach. You have Fernando Mendoza, who was very eager to get into training camp. And no one ever in the history of Raiders history said, I'm eager to go play for the Raiders. But here you are with Fernando Mendoza, who's out there and he's eager to play. So is that going to get you a lot of wins? No. But now you have a culture change. So, yeah, can you probably steal a win against some of these, teams? Because we all have teams that we're playing against that all made the playoffs, and one of them actually ended up going to the Super Bowl. One of them was a game away from the Super Bowl. Actually, 2 of them were a game, one of them was a game away from the Super Bowl. So someone's going to get complacent. Everyone always does. Corey, you and I last year, we said Jacksonville was going to come into Denver, and Denver's undefeated at home, and Denver's going to win that game. Well, we got our asses handed to us. So I think at some point, maybe later on in the schedule, someone's going to get complacent and say, oh, it's the Raiders, and the Raiders are going to surprise someone. So I'll give you that credit. But other than that, it's going to be a losing record for you guys.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like the Browns that do that though.
No, see, I think that I think the division, we might be able to get a game from some of the divisional opponents, but if we're just talking a team on here, and again, like we're acknowledging, it's from 2025, it's the 7th toughest schedule that is on the division. I think the Chiefs are 5th or something like that. So Chiefs had a little bit harder of a schedule, but for what we've added to the team, what the strength of schedule is, if I had to guess what team we might be able to steal one, it's going to be a playoff team. I'm not going to say the Titans. I'm not going to say the Jets. I'm not going to say the Browns, because like that's all the same team. It's not a steal over one of them. It's like if we win, we should have. But if we could steal one over the Rams, the Niners, the whatever, like that's what I'm saying. You're making it sound like we're going to go like 0-17. Like we got to get 6 wins out of here somewhere. It's either coming from a playoff team or a divisional opponent.
I see 3 wins.
I'm with you, Cody. Cody. Like, again, I feel like somebody's going to there's going to be one of these teams that made the playoffs last year, and they're going to get complacent. Someone always does. It's any given Sunday. Right. Someone's going to get complacent. So
I also think like the Raiders have a ton of star potential that just hasn't. Like Ashton Genty's a very good player. Brock Bowers is a very good player. With a competent offensive coordinator, they're going to catch defenses off balance. Like you guys are talking about like this is last year's Raiders team. Like,
right.
Well, I mean, until they show otherwise, that offensive line is still the last year's Raiders team. Like you can add Tyler Linderbaum, you can do all this, but until you show me otherwise, like
but Tyler Linderbaum's the best center in the league. Like I mean, you're acting like they're just adding some like scrub. They paid him top tackle money because he's a good player.
Can you name their offensive line outside of Tyler Linderbaum?
I mean, they have DJ Glaze. I think who's there? Oh, they have Colton Miller, right?
Colton Miller.
And it's not
is Jackson Powers Johnson still one of your guards?
He's still on the team, yeah.
And then I couldn't name the other guard. I have no idea.
Well, I couldn't name anyone outside of Joel Alt and Austin Slater on your team, so it's all fair.
Tyler Biotish, Tyler Penny, come on, Slaughter. They just drafted.
I just named the only 2 I can think of. I mean, respectfully, he knew a lot more of the offensive line than I was going to give credit for.
I quit listening to him once he said Linderbaum's the best center in football.
So you're saying Creed Humphrey?
Yeah, and it's not close.
Well,
I mean,
Linderbaum
got paid $10 million APY more.
Yeah, he's the highest paid. Doesn't mean he's the best.
All right. We've gone over this.
Russell Wilson was the highest paid quarterback.
We've gone over this. He's cheap with his wallet. We got it. All right.
It's good to be back, boys.
Yeah. All right. Let's go on to let's segue over to the Chiefs then. Austin, what are your thoughts on the Chiefs schedule?
Cakewalk, man.
Is that right?
Revenge tour. No,
that's the dumbest. That's the stupidest effing thing I've heard. The revenge tour. What are you guys getting revenge on?
All the hate. Everyone's saying we're done.
This is
what was that thing about Mahomes is like the most hated player in the league? What are you talking about?
Right.
Exactly. I didn't say he was the most hated. Don't be throwing lies out there. That's not a good start.
Okay.
I'm confused because I thought that's what you said in our chat too.
There's no revenge. Like, what's the revenge? So you guys had a down season last year. Let's not act like.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, like this whole revenge. Like, I'm gonna go revenge after going to this.
Cody, you had down years.
I've had down decades, my friend.
AFC Championship games. They have one losing season, and all of a sudden it's a revenge tour. Like, okay.
Wasn't this a revenge tour last year when they lost
7 AFC Championship games and the Super Bowl?
But don't worry, the Chiefs the entire season last year, it was every single game. Don't worry, when they win 6 in a row, they'll go back to their Super Bowl contention.
Why are we talking about last year?
Well, that's kind of
you just mentioned that it's a revenge tour from last year.
The revenge tour would be this year,
but from last year.
Well, why do you think of their schedule?
What do I think of their schedule? I said cakewalk.
Any games that you're concerned
10 or 11
with?
Wins.
10 or 11 wins. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Any other analysis on that, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I predicted and posted, I think Broncos sweep the Chiefs. I think we split with the Chargers. And then we sweep the Raiders.
Split the Raiders.
So you're going 5-1 in the division is what you're saying?
I could see that maybe.
No, I just said Denver sweeps us.
Oh, Denver swept. Okay,
Sorry.
so you're saying 3-3.
Yeah, Denver sweeps us because Denver is still a better team. We split with the Chargers home and home, and then the Raiders are still the Raiders. Like, I'm not going to worry about them till we have to. But then, they have some tough road games like Seahawks. That's not going to be an easy game. I think Seahawks win that.
Don't forget the road game against the Dolphins. That's a tough one.
Yeah. No, and then we have that stretch. It's at Bills, at Rams, at Bengals,
Patriots
home against the Patriots. I think we go 2-2 in that.
You could even throw the 49ers and Chargers in on that stretch.
No, we have the Niners number. I mean, and that's the game. I think we lose the Chargers game week 17 in LA. That'll be a tough one.
Wait, so just out of curiosity, through their first 6, like before your bye, what are they going when Mahomes is still recovering?
Their first four games?
Yeah, they got 4 and then a bye week 5.
All right, so week 5. What do they do in the first 4? Wow.
They play the Colts, Dolphins, and Raiders.
Yeah, open with Denver on Monday night, Colts, then at Dolphins, at Raiders.
You're on 2 away games in a row before your bye week.
Yeah, but that's
Dolphins and Raiders.
Yeah.
Let's not
you go to Florida and then Las Vegas?
That doesn't matter.
That's like a midway point for them.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's a good place for the bye to take place, actually. Like, I think that usually early buys aren't great, but I feel like with the state of Mahomes right now,
I usually hate early buys, but I think to get that week off after a few – I personally still don't know if Mahomes will play week 1 or 2. They're not going to put him out there unless he's 100%. They're not going to risk it. They're not going to do it. I think that's why they signed Fields. I think that's why they drafted Nussmeier. Yes, he's making throws, but it doesn't mean he's anywhere close to 100%. So I like the early buy, just given their situation. But after the bye week is when it gets rough. Chargers, Seahawks, Broncos. Luckily, we get a nice couple weeks after that, which Jets, Falcons, Cardinals to rebound.
And then you start that
then we start that gauntlet, 12 through 17. They're going to have to be in a really good place when week 12 starts, because that 12 through 17 can really go either way.
That 3-game road. That's 3 games in a row on the road.
Yep. So obviously I was kidding with the cakewalk. I feel like I was reasonable with their 10 or 11 wins. You'll learn that from me, Ethan, up front. I'm just going to.
It's okay. I think they're going to win 11 games as well. I thought you were saying they were going 5-1 in the division. I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
Denver sweeps Kansas City. This isn't
Really?
Even when Denver was bad, Denver still played Kansas City really well. They just always have. Now Denver is good. Again, maybe Davis Webb kind of sucks as a play caller. I don't think that'll cost him week 1. And if he's that bad, I think Sean will already have made a change by week 8. Like if Davis Webb really does shit the bed, Sean Payton's not going to wait around and waste a season. Sean won't do that. So we're getting swept by Denver. The home game being that first game with or without Mahomes, definitely Mahomes less than 100% if he plays.
Mm-hmm.
That really doesn't work to our advantage at all. Again, the NFC West, I think, has our number. I think we only have a speed in the I guess 2-2, but I don't think we'll be competitive against the Rams or Seahawks.
So Austin, I'm going to remove Mahomes from the conversation. So what does this year's Chiefs team need to do better to have that record that goes 10 to 11 wins than what they did last year, only getting, 6 wins, was it?
Yeah. Well, I think what they did really bad last year, and I think that's why they ended up losing a lot of the close games before Mahomes' injury, is they didn't just take a step back. They leaped backwards on pass rush and third down defense. Like it was bad. You have to get off the field, especially if your offense is, they were a top 10 offense before Mahomes' injury. Mm-hmm. But you not getting off the field limits those amount of possessions for your offense to do something. So they have to get sacks, they have to pressure better, and they have to get off the field on third down. Yes, we signed Kenneth Walker. I can sit here and pound the table and say more of a run game from Andy, but he has a 30-year coaching career that proves he's not going to run the ball more than about 40% max. That's just who he is. So Yeah, I think if you have quarterback injury issues or questions, you lean on your defense. Spags in that defense before last year was pretty reliable. And they took leaps back. So I'd like to see the defense maybe take charge for a year and help carry the team. I mean, if Texans defense can carry Stroud, Chiefs defense can carry Chiefs a little bit. I'm not saying Chiefs defense is Texans defense.
I was going to ask, are you saying that they're on the same level?
No, I'm saying if the Texans can carry Stroud, then the Chiefs can carry like Reed and Walker and Mahomes through a little bit of their schedule for them too. So that's what I think they need to do better.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the Chargers. So Ethan, give us your breakdown, your thoughts on your Chargers schedule.
Yeah, so I'll start off. The biggest issue for the Chargers isn't actually the one it is every year. We don't actually travel the most miles for once. But we do have the least amount of rest. The Chargers have a rest efficiency of negative 24 days where we play 3 different teams coming off byes. We play 3 different teams coming off Thursday night games. So we're playing a lot of teams that have a lot more rest than we will, which is going to be a huge disadvantage. And then when you look at the schedule, it's basically broken in half. So the first 2, they're going to walk through. And then weeks 3 through 10 is going to be an absolute gauntlet. They basically play the top 4 seeds in each conference from last year with a bye in the middle. So you're going to know what kind of Chargers team this is by week 10. If they're sitting at like 6-2, they're probably Super Bowl contenders. If they're sitting at 4-4, you're probably a fringe playoff team. If you're under that, you're probably missing the playoffs. Just because as you go through the rest, the math becomes too difficult just because you play all of your big conference games, all of your big primetime games through that stretch. And then it's just going to be a question of what they look like coming out of that and if they can keep momentum going. Because as you guys saw last year, they started 3-0 in the division and then lost to 2 of the worst teams in the league in the Giants and Commanders shortly after. So we'll see if Harbaugh can motivate them. I think the bye being in the middle of that stretch will help because they get a reset after 3. Because if they're like 2-1 at that point, then they can kind of reset and re-go. But yeah, those are my big takeaways from the schedule. I don't know. Did you guys want me to pick like how many games I think they're going to win?
I didn't realize how big of a gauntlet 3 through 10 was on that schedule.
Yeah, it's really tough. They basically play all the best teams in the league right in a row.
Yeah, I mean, Bills, Seahawks, Broncos, 50-50 on what Chiefs team you'll get this year, but then Rams, Texans, Ravens. I mean,
yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's insane. At least you get the Jets to kind of come back after all that. Like, okay, those 3 through 10 are over. We get the Jets.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like you'll kind of know where they're sitting based on when week 10 is done, because if they're like 7-1, they're probably winning the AFC West. But if they're like 3-5, they're probably sunk.
Yeah. Well, and even the back half of that schedule is not like a cakewalk.
No.
Like the Bucs are a good team that didn't make the playoffs. Like they're always competitive. Patriots did make the Super Bowl. Niners, Chiefs, Broncos. So like, it's not exactly a cakewalk.
No,
that back end either.
And you got the top divisions in the AFC West towards 17 and 18. That who knows where you're at in the season, whether you're going for either a wild card or the divisional title, depending on where your record is at. So those are going to be tough games towards the end of the season. So it's not like you can let off the throttle, in the last 2 weeks of the year as well.
No, it's all going to be a question on really what's the health of this team, because even with both of their tackles hurt last year, they still won 11 games, and probably if they didn't sit in however it looks, they might have won 12. But we'll see. I mean, Jim hasn't lost more than 6 games in a season. So we'll see what they look like now with a much tougher schedule and all the pieces that he wants.
No,
go ahead, Austin.
No, I was going to ask him, do you think, Justin Herbert going to Europe is going to cost you early on in the season against those cakewalks? Missing those volunteer practices.
I mean, did you see who we went to Europe with?
I mean,
I'm just
he's
saying.
clearly distracted and hates football. So
That's right.
Or as that
he's
one
clearly
fan
giving
said,
up.
this is what keeps you from winning division titles and Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true.
Patrick Mahomes in the offseason the last like 5 years. So it's like
Until this one,
Until
where he's
this, yes.
rehabbing. Yeah, the dude is just
Well,
no.
just ask Tom Brady, who won 7 Super Bowls, how often he saw his kids win on vacation. He just wanted to win. So forget personal time. We got to win championships.
Did you see the quote from Jim today though? It was pretty funny.
Yeah, that was good. Do you want
Where
to
he
ride?
said, yeah, I was gonna drive him to the airport.
It's not like he's missing, like he's doing it. It'd be different if it was like week 3 of the preseason and he was traveling to Europe with this girl, like with Madison Beer, right? Like that's a little different. Like, hey man, we're kind of close to the season here, but like we're in the end of May. Like this isn't going to cost you anything.
I don't even.
The other
Their
thing
training
is
camp
Mike
opened
McDaniel.
yesterday, didn't it?
No, OTAs. We're not to
OTA,
training camp
okay.
yet. So
Yeah,
we're still in
McDaniel.
like no, Mike
Yeah,
McDaniel wasn't
there.
even there last week. Like that's what everyone's like. And everyone's argument was like, "Oh, Herbert needs to learn the new offense." Well, the offensive coordinator isn't even there either. So I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
It's censoring telepathically.
Oh yeah.
right.
It's all about those game reps and shorts that really make a
Right.
6-year veteran. Like,
All those dime that passes that he's throwing out there. Yeah.
yeah.
To know
I
the
mean, he's
media
a
team.
social media quarterback, and he's
Right.
not being filmed right now.
Hey, just remember that one dude doesn't want to hear any whining when you lose. You know.
Yes.
That's all
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah. He's really got me. Anytime we lose, I can't wait because this is how Charger fans are. They're totally going to take to Twitter and been like, oh, this is because he missed those games in May.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Corey and I saw a lot of it. Like after the playoff loss, like there was a handful of Chargers fans that are like, "Get rid of Herbert. We're never going to win with him." I'm like, he's the best shot you have right
Yeah.
now.
The meltdowns were real.
They were.
The meltdowns were real. And I was here for it.
Yeah, they lost their mind. I mean, we're such a deprived fan base that it's just like any little bit of success, it's like we're automatically a Super Bowl team if we won like 3 games in a row.
See, so we're the opposite of that. The Chiefs right now with Mahomes, we're so used to the success that when we don't see it,
You
We
guys
don't
have
know
a temper
what- how to
tantrum? Is that what you're
react.
saying?
yeah, like we don't know.
Well, they're on a revenge tour, so we
That's
need to
it,
listen.
right?
Yeah,
We're the opposite of what you just explained.
yeah.
Revenge
You're in
tour
your,
coming
you're
to
in
a
your
city
Taylor
near
Swift
you.
rep tour right now is where you're at.
That's what I'm saying. She's part owner of the Guardians now. Anyway,
Oh, yeah, because she had to loan Travis Kelce that money for that team, huh?
he's not getting that with his money.
That's cute that she gave him a little allowance. That's nice.
Hey, I mean, good
Sugar
for
mama.
him.
I know. Good for him. Like,
Yeah,
I can
he's
knock
living
it.
every man's dream. He's
I'm
got
not
a
judging
girl.
him.
I know. In fact, I'm kind of impressed.
It's the same thing with Herbert. Like people are knocking him. He just got to go to Europe for 2 weeks with Madison Beer. Like,
Yeah.
relax.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not hating on
You
him.
would too.
Yeah, like what are we doing here?
All right,
I would miss
Broncos.
voluntary work meetings.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You grew up with Madison
Happily.
Beer. Like, okay. You said voluntary, right?
Yeah, it's voluntary. That's what I don't get. This isn't even mandatory.
And half your coaching staff probably isn't there either. So it's like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
All right, Broncos, round us out. Give us your guys' thoughts and breakdown of your Denver Broncos schedule.
Matt, go ahead, buddy.
All right. You guys will have to forgive me. The flies here are like out in full force as soon as the sun comes up. So if you see me swatting, I'm not stimming out. But
All right.
so one of the things last season was the critics were saying that the Broncos haven't been battle tested. They didn't play anyone. Well, they're going to be battle tested. They're going to get battle tested very early. I want to say 4 of their 5, first 5 opponents were all playoff teams. You
All
open up
5.
with the Chiefs. Yeah. Well, wait, no, the Cardinals.
Oh no, they opened with the Chiefs. Never mind. You're right.
Yeah. So, you open up with the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes is coming back, and I don't care what anyone says. Like, as long Mahomes is going to be fine, he will be playing that game, and you can never rule out Mahomes and Arrowhead. Do I think Denver will win that game? Sure, absolutely, because they just, like Austin said, they play each other well. Bo Nix does actually really well against the Chiefs, but you open up Monday night against the Chiefs in Arrowhead, and then you have the Jags, who I think they were the first team last season to go into Mile High and beat the Broncos in Mile High, and no one thought that was going to happen. Then you have the Rams, who are a game away from the Super Bowl, and then you have, I think you get like a little bit of a break with the Cardinals, and then you have the Seahawks. I don't have the schedule up in front of me. I just know it's coming up.
No, you're good.
You're good.
Yep.
Failure.
So I mean, I know I'll haze myself. Don't worry, I'll be here for a little while longer in the baking sun.
All
right. So you're going to get battle tested early, and this first quarter of the schedule, and we talked about quarters before, this is going to determine how the Broncos will shape up for the rest of the year, because they get a little bit of a break in that middle of the season, and then again now you have the Christmas game against the Bills, and then you have the Steelers again. The Steelers, went into Mile High and they beat the Broncos on what would have been a revenge game against Russell Wilson. So it's going to be a tough schedule for them. Do I think that they'll still win the division? I absolutely do. I think they'll walk out with 13 wins, but they're going to get tested, and they're going to get tested early. If that offense can remain consistent, and we'll get to that in the next segment. But yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, Matt, to let you know, your first 9 weeks, the only teams you play that didn't make the playoffs were the Chiefs twice, and then the Cardinals. Everyone else is a playoff team.
Yeah, see, like I said, I don't have the schedule in front of me. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
Yeah, no, you were pretty close, and you shorthanded them a little bit. That's why I wanted to correct it for you. That out of the first 9 weeks, Cardinals and Chiefs are the only non-playoff teams you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I look at it as these first 6 games, you got to be 3-3 or better. Anything that's under 500 out of those first 6 games, then that's really going to be tough, just based on what you have kind of in that bottom part of your schedule still. Then if you want to break it really down in those first 9 games, as Austin was saying, you got to be at least 6-3, 7-2, somewhere in there, because I think the Chargers will be close to something similar to that. I look at it as, I don't think we want to fall behind what the Chargers are doing. If the Chargers are to stay healthy, I do think they are the ones who could win this division over Denver. But I still think the distance between the Broncos and the Chiefs and the Raiders are still an arm's length, and I think that we can still get by with that, because I don't think the Chiefs are going to be very good this year. And I still think, obviously, the Raiders are still a couple years away. So, 7-2, 6-3 in those first 9 games, you got to stay pace, because then that makes that last game with the Chargers at the end of the season, maybe it means a little more this year, instead of the Chargers sitting everybody like they did this last season. Mm-hmm. Maybe we don't have to worry about Trey Lance playing in week 18. So maybe it's a good showdown for the division right there. So I don't share the same sentiment with Matt. I don't think it's a 13-win team quite yet. Just this is a schedule, man. Like, we talked about it all offseason when we knew we were going to play the NFC West. This isn't going to be last year's schedule at all. And I get Broncos are still a pretty good team, but I would, again, 11 to 12-ish in the range. But again, it's a long season, and Ethan, as a Chargers fan, injuries, one injury could just derail a lot of things. So,
about what happened at the end of the divisional round.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, hopefully everybody's staying healthy and everything goes smooth. But again, your coach talks a lot. Sean Payton talks a lot. So we're going to, is he going to be able to back it up? Well, you got the schedule for it. So buckle in.
Yeah. Well, I think what I would say for the Broncos is you guys are 11 to 12 win. And I think what's going to happen is if the first 7 to 8 weeks of your guys' schedule is going to really, if you guys can remain 500 from that, and again, I'm not saying that you guys won't. Like, you guys are top in the division. You guys are the king of the mountains at the moment. So that 4-week stretch, though, where you guys go on a run against the Steelers, and it's like the Jets are in there, the Dolphins. You guys have some easier games, and I'll just even say the Raiders in there. So there's about 5 weeks in there where you guys
Steelers, Dolphins, Jets, Raiders. Yeah, I love that. I love that.
So if you guys do what you have to do in there, you guys could then put some distance in the division. But I think, and you alluded to this, Corey, is health. And I would also say, too, like, now that there's a season of, like, how Sean Payton likes to run his offense, and now having Davis Webb being the offensive coordinator, how is he going to do in his first full-time year of, like, calling plays? There might be some growing pains within the first, 6 to 8 weeks. before we get to that latter half of the season to see like, okay, where the Broncos, are they head and shoulders above everyone in the division, or are they right in the middle of it with the Chargers and the Chiefs? So I think that's, right around week 9, week 10, and we're going to kind of see like what the Broncos are looking like as a team. Again, if everyone remains healthy.
Yeah. And again, I still have high hopes for Davis Webb. So I think, and honestly, I think this offense could actually be better, in my opinion, even with him being a first-time guy. Bo Nix has confidence in him, so I have confidence in him. So I think the offense is going to be just fine.
And do we think Bo Nix
Jalen Waddle is a huge piece?
Yeah,
I think that can't be understated.
Yeah, we think Bo Nix is going to come back healthy, no issue with foot.
Yes, he'll be ready week 1.
He's going to be fine.
Austin, do you have anything to add?
No, my brother told me I couldn't think the Chiefs are going to take one bad year and think they're going to be good. And then he just turned around and said the Chiefs aren't going to be good. So I was trying to process like which one it is. As far as Denver's schedule goes, their defense will carry them if their offense sucks. So I know everyone likes the Texans defense, and Texans probably his best defense, but Broncos are right there with them. So you know how I feel. Defense can win games, can carry teams. If the offense takes a little bit to get going, that defense will keep them in damn near every game anyway. So, they had a lot of one-possession games last year. I think you need to clean that up. We saw how quick that turned for the Chiefs. 2 years ago, I think they were like 11-0.
Yeah, something like that.
They went like 1-12 or whatever in one-score games.
Yeah.
So obviously want to clean some of that up, but at the end of the day, your defense is going to keep you in all the games. Just a matter if you can pull them out or not. Tough schedule, yes, but again, defense travels, defense plays. They're going to be just fine. It's a matter of how many of those close games they can win.
Yeah, statistically, the Broncos have the 15th hardest schedule in the NFL, and that is last in the division compared to Raiders, Chargers, Chiefs. We're in the top 10 in terms of schedule difficulty. So clearly the NFL is in on the Broncos.
I will also say it's not the greatest stat to go off of because the other three teams have to play the Broncos.
No, I know. It's more or less of like, it's never an accurate depiction. It's just like from previous records. I just love saying that Denver has the easiest strength of schedule compared to last season, and the fix is in on the NFL. So that's all. But none of these numbers are going to be accurate by the end of the season. It's going to be like Denver had the hardest record, Chargers had the easiest, or Chiefs had the easiest, or whatever. It's all going to be different towards the end of next year. I just like it how it is right now.
Get used to it, Broncos fans. It's always going to be some reason that the league is favoring you guys.
Yeah, is it the refs this time?
Favor us because that's the way that top-heavy schedule is.
No, I just meant last year with the cakewalk. This year you have the easiest schedule in the division, 4-1 in the division. The refs cost you the game, or cost the Bills the game in the playoffs. I'm just saying, get used to it. The more you win, the more you're going to hear it. So I think that's why Cody's saying it for now. He would have been saying it all these years for the Chiefs, and then now it's kind of shifted to the Broncos.
No, the Chiefs would have been that the refs are paid off, but you don't have that.
The refs had their back in the playoff game. Remember, that was Brandon Cooks catch.
Was that right?
Remember? They called it wrong because the refs wanted to favor Denver.
Was it Brandon Cooks or was it the interception?
It was Brandon Cooks, but McMillan picked it off.
Oh yeah, it was a clean pick. There's no argument to that.
And of course, I had to explain to all the Bills Mafia people, like, trust me, if the NFL wanted to rig a game, they aren't going to rig the Broncos. They're going to put the Bills in there with another team and get some money out of that. They're not rigging the Broncos.
Yeah, they would much rather have Josh Allen deeper in the playoffs than Bo Nix. No offense to Bo Nix, but
at this point, it is still Josh Allen they would prefer for sure. Who's saying in another year or two that could change, but like right now, Josh Allen is one of the top 2 or 3 golden boys in the league with Mahomes.
I don't know. I think last year kind of proved that the NFL isn't rigging anything. I mean, the fact that Josh Allen didn't make it,
exactly,
right. Like it was a wide open AFC. I mean, they let Drake May and
the Super Bowl,
the corpse of New England, and then Denver without their quarterback playing an AFC championship game that was 10-7.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they let Sam Darnold win a Super Bowl. So
By a
out of
lot
all the
too. Like it
people.
wasn't
Yeah,
even
right?
close.
Yep. The bets are in, so.
This damn rigging the NFL is doing.
Yeah, we don't think it's rigged. We like to joke about it though, because it's always
It's okay. They're gonna start rigging it for Madison Beer, so we're all good.
for real. I mean, they did it for Taylor when she was first popping on the screen. So
Right. It was Taylor's fault that the Chiefs were winning,
yeah. Well, I mean, at one point they were like undefeated when she was shown on screen. So it was like, oh, the fix is in.
well, that's just when the Chiefs were still good and young.
I know, but
Like,
still, it was just
I
funny.
know.
I know.
Yeah.
All
She
right.
sold her soul or made a deal with the devil or that like magic, black magic or whatever they would say.
Or they sold their soul to get her because
That's-
she's a force to be reckoned with.
That's true.
She's a bit more popular, it seems like. All right, guys, let's move on to the AJ Brown saga. So around the draft time, there's a rumor that he was going to be dealt, wasn't going to be dealt. AJ Brown recently got married, so congratulations. But the saga is going on right now where either the Chiefs and Chargers are or aren't in on the sweepstakes. But I think Adam Scheffler before the draft pointed out that around June 1st, he might be dealt to New England, which we've kind of all been saying he's been tied to. But Corey, what do you think of this AJ Brown saga?
Yeah, Ethan, you have to remind me of who you posted it in our group text last night of who posted that about the.
It was Albert Breer.
Yeah, so as Cody alluded to, Adam Schefter reported obviously that AJ Brown was essentially gone no matter what. And then we kind of heard the rumors over the last few weeks of teams that may be interested and who were, who should be interested. And the Chiefs and the Chargers both were brought up multiple times. And then obviously Albert Breer kind of shit on everyone's dreams last night of those two fan bases and a couple others that were along those lines of those teams had their chances. Now they're out. So, with the Chargers and Chiefs fans in here, Ethan, I'll start with you. Did you actually ever in this offseason, did you ever actually did the meter actually move up that you thought you were going to get AJ Brown?
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this a couple days ago. This was before I was in the group chat that the Chargers plane was in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
Did you guys see this? Yeah.
I
So
did.
Dean Spanos was in Philly. And so a bunch of Chargers fans thought that meant we're getting AJ Brown. To tell you the truth, I don't think they were ever going to do that. And I don't think they ever will, just because of the way Joe Ortiz is as a general manager. He is so about keeping your draft picks close, signing your own guys, not spending a lot in free agency, that it wouldn't make sense for the Chargers to give up, let's say a second round pick in next year's loaded class to get an older player who in an offense that already has so many mouths to feed.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you think the top end talent is there, the Chargers have so many guys who need to touch the ball, which includes the backfield. Amarian Hampton is going to get a full load this year. They still have Ladd, who's in a Mike McDaniel's offense, is going to have an easy 100 catches.
Mhm.
They have 3 capable tight ends now. They have Trey Harris, who's going to get better. They have QJ, who had 800 yards last year. If you add AJ Brown into that, realistically, what is his target share even going to be? There's just not much. He'd be a great player and he'd be a great upgrade. I just don't know if it's worth the production you're giving up just to get a star to have a star.
Well, you'd be probably having to cut or get rid of QJ or one of those receivers you just mentioned to even fit him in the scheme. So you're kind of cutting off the youth and maybe the ability to move them around in terms of motion just to get a guy that's your true X. And he's not a scrub of a receiver. Not trying to say he's washed or anything, but for the Chargers, is that worth it for what maybe he might do for the team or not do for the team?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the only reason that they're linked is because the Chargers have $40 million of space. And it's everyone's obsessed with, they need a big play receiver. And this can be my bold take. I don't know how you guys feel. I think Ladd is a number 1 in this league from a production standpoint. I think he was just not very good in a Greg Roman offense, which is fine. But as a rookie, he had 1,200 yards. And he's about to play in a scheme that loves shifty, fast receivers.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and again, just looking from an outside perspective here, I actually look at QJ as being the big play guy and Mike McDaniel's offense. And that's not taking anything away from that, because I think you can still have both of them, right? Like Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, right? Kind of those two guys. So you have Ladd now and you have Johnston. But I'm also looking at the tight ends too, because obviously we saw what the tight ends could do in McDaniel's system. Now you had David Njoku, who's going to be a big red zone target, on top of Gatson, who I think is going to have a really good sophomore season. So again, yeah, I mean, as a fan, yeah, it'd be exciting, cool, yay. But I think from the business perspective, like, it doesn't really make too much sense to add, that with what we have, and especially when you're probably 99% going to have this offense coordinator for probably 1 year.
Right.
And, I'm going to, real quick, guys, I'm going to give my take, because I actually was looking at the time. I have to start getting ready for work here pretty soon. So I'll give my take. Yeah, right. Tell me about it. So for me, and not that AJ Brown isn't, I think he's a great receiver. I think he's very good. He's talented. He's productive. But again, Ethan, like you brought up, like, there's so many mouths to feed in that offense, and you just brought in David Njoku. You bring AJ Brown in, and you already know, like, because he was doing it in Philly, if he's not happy, the first thing he's going to do is he's going to take to social media. And then that's going to bring distractions in. Ethan, one thing that these guys know about me that you don't is I hate distractions in the locker room. So all that's going to do for the Chargers is he's not getting the ball enough, and he takes to social media. The media is going to come in, and they're going to start asking him, so are you not happy? Are you requesting a trade? And they're going to ask everyone else about it, how they feel, and it's going to be distracting. So to me, personally, good player, but he's a distraction. And something that the Chargers don't need right now is a distraction, especially because Justin Herbert doesn't care about offseason activities. So
the one thing I will say is I actually think if it weren't for the cap situation, I think he makes way more sense going to the Chiefs than the Chargers. I think people just do it because of the money perspective. The Chiefs need outside help so bad right now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Matt.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. Ethan, it was nice to meet you. Welcome aboard, man. And I'll try and hop on when I can.
All right, brother. Be safe out there.
Take it easy, guys.
So let's talk Chiefs real quick, because we obviously know the Chiefs need a receiver. That's been the talk all kind of offseason was, now Rashee Rice doing Rashee Rice things. And I think his time in Kansas City, I think safe to say, is probably coming to an end here, probably after the season, if he makes it into the season. So
right.
Did you ever think in your mind that the Chiefs would be an option for that?
No, 0% chance. We can't even sign our rookies right now. Like, we can't trade for that receiver. There's an obvious need for it, but the amount of restructures of contracts and money you would just push down the road, you already kind of pile it up with Patrick and Karlaftis and Chris Jones at this point. Like, the more you keep pushing money down the road, the more you're going to keep having cap issues year to year. Is there a need for it? There is. But it's also not a type of receiver Andy Reid really likes anyway. So I think he would rather go get one of the cheap veteran ones before doing anything like that. But 0% chance. I mean, Chiefs are still trying to clear up some money to sign their 2 first-round rookies. That's why they created some cap space, restructuring George Karlaftis today. Those are going to be your first 2 priorities. But I also don't think Chiefs want to trade their first-round pick. I think Patriots are willing, and I don't think a team was going to do more than that. Because I think Ethan said earlier, next year's draft is loaded, specifically at receiver. Like, I think, obviously, things can change throughout the college football season, but I think there was like 21 receivers that were like first-round grade next year as of right now. So, like, given the cap space, like, basically everything you just said with added cap space, I don't think it's worth getting a younger receiver, a cheaper receiver, losing some youth. Is there a need for it? Yes. Rashee Rice, barring any other incidents, he's going to be playing week 1 and throughout the season, barring any. They don't suspend for weed anymore. They could act on the violation of his probation, 50-50. So we don't really know if he will be suspended or not. I do know it won't be because he was smoking weed. They don't do that anymore. They don't test for it. That's not a thing. But I do think long-term it's his last season. But I don't think Chiefs are willing to hinder their future for 1 year of A.J. Brown.
I mean, do you think, though, and I'm more or less of the Rashee Rice thing, the league probably won't suspend him because they don't test for weed, and that's fine. But the fact that it was was done and it violated his probation. I mean, the NFL does have like an integrity to the shield kind of a policy where like if you deface the shield, then you get reprimanded, or they encourage the team to do it. Do you think he faces some sort of punishment in that factor of just not that he smoked it, but that he violated his probation that he knew that he was on because of this incident that he caused?
Well, that's why I said it was 50-50. Nobody really knows. Like, he could very easily get suspended as a repeat offender as the violation of basically the conduct policy, because it is a violation of probation. So he's not going to get in trouble for the actual incident that he got in trouble for. But no, even around the Chiefs, nobody really knows what the league is planning, because he very well could face a suspension on it, and it would be as a repeat offender, obviously. Mm-hmm. We all know that about Rashee Rice. It's not his first run-in with issues. So nobody really knows. Even trying to read all the Kansas City media and people close to the Chiefs, they're saying right now, like, nobody actually knows what to expect. So I really do think it's 50-50. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't care if he plays either way at this point. If he does get suspended, you could be, I think, repeat offenders a full season.
I think, because didn't he serve 6 games?
Yeah. Well, I think he was served with 8 and appealed to 7 or 6. I don't remember, but
he was out 6 games.
I think repeat is the full season, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
I don't remember because I thought the second time for Josh Gordon is when he got booted.
I think you're thinking of baseball.
Baseball's your third time.
I can look it up. You guys can talk. I can look it up.
I'm not sure, because I mean, when Josh Gordon was doing his thing, I know that was surrounding other things. It wasn't just pot. It was
they
like,
actually were still testing when he played, though.
Yeah, correct. So that was his part,
right?
Violating the conduct policy,
the drug policy, yeah. But
you're looking at least 10 to 12 games minimum.
That's I think, it'd be like a large portion of the season. I don't know about the full season, and also too, it's the Chiefs. Not to say that means anything, but they may not put a full season on a player that's pretty significant for the Chiefs. I mean,
that won't have anything to do with it if it's in their policy of.
I'm just saying the NFL is also an entertainment business. They're not gonna.
You would have a lot of issues from inside the league if you didn't stick to your actual policies. Like, that's why those are in place.
Yeah, but we're not going to act like that the NFL is so upholding to all their policies because they're so fair-minded.
Some are more lenient than others, but you would have an uproar. I think you would have some sort of a league fallout. Like, the NFL's not going to come to an end, but you're going to get the owners like Jerry Jones and other ones who, if you aren't going by the book on the policies as far as suspension length,
sure,
you would.
I hear what you're saying. I don't think that.
This is going back to you thinking like this is rigged or like people get.
No. I don't think it's rigged. I'm just saying like the NFL is not only like for football, but it's like it's an entertainment thing. It's like they are selling tickets. They're selling people to watch. And
I can promise you the NFL doesn't give 2 shits about Rashee Rice.
No, I think you guys.
I looked it up.
Okay, go ahead.
There's no precedent for what it would be as a second offender. So the league can decide. It seems likely that he won't be suspended, but they can decide to suspend him if they'd like as a second offender, because I guess in the language of his initial 6-game suspension, it said there'd be further consequences if he failed his probation.
And that's the 30-day jail sentence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
What a loser.
So I think it's up in the air. I don't think there's really been a case like this.
Congratulations, Rashee Rice.
Yeah. Fucking idiot.
He's got the Tom Brady thing with the Deflategate, where it was.
Well, there has been other issues, but I don't know how, like, the amount of issues that stacked up for like Martavius Bryant, for Josh Gordon,
right?
Like how many or what the incident. Those have been so long ago that I don't remember.
Still, the craziest one is Calvin Ridley getting an entire year for gambling.
Right.
Well, he's lucky it was only a year.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that they treat gambling, but I mean. And then you have all those losers who are free 4 shirts. Now look at him. Let's see how much support his teammates give him on that one.
No, I think the teammates will still support him. Like, I don't even think it's even as a teammate anymore. I think just as a person, like at this point, you're like in your mid-20s with a bright. Let's be honest, he's a really productive receiver on the field. Would he get top tier money? No, but he would be getting some bags if he could just mature. So I think at this point, they're just probably trying to more support him as a person.
Yeah.
Honestly, bottom line is, we don't know about Rashid Rice. Chiefs do need a receiver, but they don't have a lot of cap space to work with.
Yeah. Well, all that to say that AJ Brown's probably going to neither team. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
I still
Patriot.
think it's Patriots, man.
Yeah, it's we said the Patriots back in the postseason. Yeah, so it's one of those. So as we come up on our hour, I do want to say, for those of you that are new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and like this. So again, like I've been saying, we've been saying, we'll start doing lives more frequently now that we're getting closer to the season. But I do want to touch on this last topic real quick. So keep it short, and we can break it down maybe in a different episode. But now that free agency is done, draft's done, we're heading into the OTAs, voluntary camps. Not asking who's there and who's not there. That's irrelevant right now. We'll worry about that in July. But what is your concern heading into these mini camps is now that, all the moves have been, most of the moves have been made? And start with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I got two things. I think pass rush is still an issue. Obviously, we only addressed it with the second round draft pick, unless you're counting on Pete Woods in the middle. So I think pass rush, and then what we just talked on receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say what I don't think is a concern from what I've seen from a lot of people. Offensive line is not a concern for me. Right tackle is, but 4 of the 5 spots I'm very comfortable with. I'm not putting offensive line as a concern.
Ethan?
For me, I mean, it is offensive line, but probably not for the reason that you think. Like, I think the whole offseason is whether Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater can come back healthy. Mm-hmm. If they can, they'll be really, really good. If they're not, then it's a whole different story. And then the second one, I think, is they lost Odafe Owe, and then how does Mesidor take over that third edge rusher spot? Because this offseason, Tuli Tuipulotu is about to get paid a massive bag.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's all about how can you balance the other side with Khalil Mack and then Mesidor, because Owe was a super productive player.
He was.
Cody, I know it's been a very exciting offseason for you and the Raiders and what they've been able to do, but obviously there's still concerns, right? So go ahead and give us your thoughts on that.
Lots of concerns. I'll just give you guys 2 that I have at the moment. One is our offensive line as well. Obviously, we don't need to rehash that, but just the combination or how they're going to fortify it so that way it is a protection for either Kirk Cousins or Fernando Mendoza, whoever they decide to start. But in general, the trenches is where we need to be better up front. So that's one of the things I'm looking at during camp. And then also, even though we have a lot of receivers, we really don't have a receiver one. That's a huge question mark. There's a Jack Besh in there. There's a Trey Tucker. There's Dante Thornton Jr. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones in there that maybe one, maybe not. And so the question is which one is going to emerge? I hope it's Jack Besh. We spent a second round on him in the previous draft, but I think in training camp and OTAs, and as we get closer to training camp preseason, what are we doing in wide receiver one? It's probably what I'm most thinking of.
It's Brock Bowers.
Well, sure. But I mean, like, if you're going to double Brock, you got to go to somebody else. And who's the guy that's going to step up?
Then you hand it off to Ashton Genty.
Okay, there we go. You guys should coach the Raiders. Maybe we'd win more than 7 games.
That luxury, man.
It's Brock Bowers for sure.
I mean, that's 2 superstar, all pro first guys that they have that potential. Now you just got to make sure that everything else kind of just meshes together, man. So I'm like, Now the gaslighting Cody starts.
If you have a bunch of receiver 2s, that's all you need when you have a Bowers. Trust me, Chiefs went through it with Kels after Hill. You'll be okay with Bowers.
Yeah, but the Chiefs players were better than the Raiders players right now.
Dude, no, we won a Super Bowl with Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, and Valdez-Scantling as our top 3. So I don't know about that.
With Travis Kelce as the number 1, wasn't he?
Exactly. That's one. But those weren't even receiver 2s, bro.
Yeah. And then I'll say for Denver, obviously the lack of moves. I know it freaks everybody out. I'm not as concerned about the lack of moves. I do love the Jalen Waddle move. So I'm going to go linebacker depth. We didn't touch the linebacker depth very much. I know we have a couple undrafted
studs.
Well, we have a 7th round, Mr. Irrelevant, and then we have another undrafted from A&M. So those two could possibly be your future. Yeah, I'm not really confident in banking on that right now. So linebacker depth's obviously a huge concern, and then the age of our offensive line.
Bowles turned 34 today.
Love Garrett
Happy
Bowles.
birthday.
I love that, but then you gotta look at like the Mike McGlinchey's, Ben Powers, and some of that. So we'll talk about maybe some surprise cuts in camps that'll be coming up. I'm not probably gonna put either one of those guys on there, but terrible segue right there.
Yeah.
But so linebacker depth, and then kind of what are we gonna do as far as like the aging offensive line? I still love our offensive line, but they obviously, as Matt alluded to, all of last season had some issues. So that's kind of our concerns heading into OTAs, mini camps, and then we really start turning it up a lot mid-July. So again, guys, it's here. It's almost season time. I know we've been talking a lot about it. We're getting everything kind of mapped out. I'm going to give the floor over to you to preview the special guest for next week.
I'm only going to preview one for now. I do want to say, though, to go on post-free agency and draft concerns, I was looking at rosters. Cody, why did you never once tell us the biggest upgrade the Raiders made?
Tyler Linderbaum. We've been saying this.
No, Matt Gay.
Oh, sure.
Dude, Carlson was cheeks last year. Anyway.
He was not great, yeah. But I mean, that low-hanging fruit really could have signed anybody, and that probably would have been better.
You know how I feel about special teams.
I know. Kickers are players, too.
They are. That makes a difference. I don't know if you were a fan yet, Ethan, but there was a year the Chargers had the number 1 offense and number 1 defense.
Oh, don't worry. I was. Don't worry.
Yeah. And they had the number 32 special teams, and they finished 9-7 and missed the playoffs.
They set the record for most kickoff return touchdowns given up. So don't worry. They gave up 3 in one game.
So I didn't mean to throw you on the spot. That just came to mind. We're like,
That's
you literally
right.
had a number 1 offense and defense, and number.
I don't honestly know, like, just on a side note, how Philip Rivers like would walk into the locker room and been like, you know what, I'm gonna do this for another year.
Slapping people, just yelling "dadgum."
You got to know that Quentin Jammer was ready to throw hands with his teammates if they did that.
Yeah, like what two opposite people, like based on
dude, you know?
That's hilarious. But no, next week we are tentative on our Tuesday guest, so I'm not going to throw that out there. Just know it is in the works, not signed off. They threw out the date, but I just want to get confirmation before doing it. But Wednesday, we actually are bringing on a Kansas high school broadcaster, kind of close to home, Lenexa, Kansas. That's kind of just a drive up the road from where we grew up. But she's a big-time sports broadcaster there. Won many Kansas Broadcasting Awards, all sports, football, soccer, baseball, all of it. So kind of bringing on a guest close from home with a very bright broadcasting future. She's done some shadowing with some people from ESPN when they go to like Allen Fieldhouse and stuff for KU games and all of that. So just going to ask her what that's been like at such a young age and whatnot. So Mary Claire, that's her name. I'm not going to try to say her last name. I'll butcher it. Zacharias, maybe. If you're watching, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. We'll stick with Mary Claire, but big time up and comer in the broadcasting world, has big goals. Already won a lot of awards in the state of Kansas for it. So she'll be joining Wednesday. And then if and when Tuesday's confirmed, we'll obviously blast it on social media, but
just no special teams legend.
It absolutely. And definitely was rocking a mustache back in his day. Like I couldn't get past it. I tried to pick the best picture of him with the best looking mustache. It's the little things, right? Nothing he's accomplished in life. It's the mustache.
Okay.
Ethan, how'd your first show go, buddy? How you feeling?
Good. There's one thing we forgot to say, which I want to give a big congratulations to Derwin James. We didn't talk about his huge contract extension. I got to say, as a Charger fan, Derwin James is one of my favorite players. So quite cool to see him. Now he's going to retire a Charger.
I think Austin picked him as his favorite non-Chief player, if I'm not mistaken.
I love Derwin James. You're never going to hear me say a bad word. One thing you'll learn, if you're on an opponent, like even a rival, if you're good at defense or in the trenches, I'm going to love you.
Which is weird because he likes the Raiders.
I don't like the Raiders.
He loves the Raiders.
Anyway,
Well, I do
want to ask a question though, Ethan, because I've seen and again, I know there's a lot of trolls, but I've seen a lot of Charger pages say this. They're actually upset with the Derwin James contract, making him the highest paid safety because he's old.
Is he?
I mean, he's gonna turn 30 this year.
That's old.
Prime, baby.
Yeah.
That's when you should get.
I've seen a lot of people saying the same thing. My opinion on it is you better not ever wear a Khalil Mack jersey if you're gonna sit there and act like Derwin is an old. Derwin's coming off 2 All-Pro seasons, and just off like a back, and I guess this is my big segue. He was literally benched by Brandon Staley at the end of their thing because Staley needed to save himself. He benched Derwin James. Then they had their interim come in. They didn't put him back out. And then he came in with Jesse Minter and was a 2-time All-Pro player.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the story Derek Johnson told us when he was on, that he got benched by Todd Haley.
Right.
Yeah.
In the middle of like no reason. So like similar. But dude, if Chiefs had the money, I would take Derwin James as our highest paid safety.
Oh, yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Guys, quit interrupting him. He wasn't finished yet.
I don't care.
I was just going to say, like, I'm curious from your perspective, because this is another thing I see online a lot, and Charger fans complain about it. Do you think he's a dirty player? Like, a lot of people bring that up all the time.
I'm not the person to ask, because honestly, the dirtier the player, the better I think you're going to be. So I might not be the one to ask. Like, some people would label Tony Jefferson as that. Also love Tony Jefferson. So I love Vontaze Perfect if you want me to know how low we're going. So
that one's a little too much for me. But.
Corey, what about, I mean, I have an answer for this. It's very easy, but what's yours?
Yeah, I honestly would have put Tony Jefferson more in that category, and I don't even think Tony Jefferson's dirty either. So no, I don't look at Derwin James as being a dirty. And I would be curious to see what everyone else's thoughts, like why they would think that. Like
he body slammed Travis Kelce.
That's football. Do it.
That needs to happen more.
Yeah, I know.
Specifically to Travis.
I think Derwin James
to be able to do it.
Yeah, I think Derwin James reminds me of like the football players we watched like when we were younger in the mid 2000s to the early 2010s when defenses weren't kind of hindered by how hard you can hit somebody. So like Derwin James to me reminds me of like an old school player in that sense, and I like watching Derwin James. Like I hate him as a divisional opponent, but I love him as a player. Like 10 out of 10 times would take him on my team, but I also 10 out of 10 times do not want to face him because he's Derwin James. He's a hell of a player.
He can play all over the field too, and that's what I loved him coming out into the NFL. Was just the kind of player he was. And I'm actually glad he kind of got over the injury thing early on, because I was kind of like, damn, that's just a wasted talent right there. Because I remember watching him in college, and I thought, damn, that dude's going to be really good. Mm-hmm. And then he just, the injuries and I was like, damn. But now he's finally starting to be well deserved on his. Like he deserves every penny of this deal. And I know a lot of Charger fans rag on their GM and ownership and the lack of spending sometimes, but hats off to them for getting this one right.
Yeah,
that's a dude you can't let walk.
You don't let him walk out the door.
Not when even going into your age 30 season, because there's teams that would have given him this deal after this. Like they would have.
Teams would have given him more because there would have been a bidding war.
When you go to safety, like you have probably 4 or 5 more years left,
at least.
The other thing I want to say about Derwin is it's the same thing I think about LT all the time, is if Derwin was in a different era, I think he'd be considered one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game.
I think he's still going to be.
I think so too, honestly.
Yeah. Mostly because he's been the best safety in football for at least the last 5 years. So when you're the best of your era, you're going to be considered.
As long as he stays healthy, like he's still got to make up some of that. But at the end of the day, I still think he's top 3 safety right now in the NFL.
I'm taking him over Irwin.
Until Caleb Downs plays a down.
He's a Cowboy, can't do that. But it used to be him and Buddha, but since the Cardinals have been trash, I feel like Buddha's lost a little. Like I'd still take Buddha, but I feel like it's always between those two.
It's probably Kyle Hamilton right now. Kyle Hamilton's a really
I love Kyle Hamilton. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I do love Kyle Hamilton.
I know Kyle Hamilton's good, but I'm
still taking Derwin.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take it. I think Derwin he's also a fantastic human being.
Yeah.
He's like such a nice guy.
I saw that video of him on IG, like just going wild. Like it's hard not to root for a guy like that. Except when he plays your team.
The best video is he came to the podium one time with his 3-year-old son, and he's like, "Hey, I want you to introduce yourself. How old are you?" And his son holds up a 4, and he's like, "Nah, that's not right. You're 3."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, take us home.
Yep. All right, guys. So, Ethan, welcome to the show, man. Glad that you had a great first episode. Again, new Chargers rep, guys. So don't forget to follow Ethan and follow us too on all the social media platforms. Over above the Shovic's head, you can see where all of our handles are at. Subscribe to the YouTube channel as you guys are watching. Don't forget to check out the episode next week. We might have 2, but schedule permitting, we will have one. I think it's on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, is our special guest with Mary Claire, the sports broadcaster from Kansas that the Shovic's were talking about. But we will see. We will bid you guys adieu. We will see you guys next week. Guys, do we have anything else before we send the folks home?
Happy birthday, Garrett Bowles.
Welcome to season 2.
Right? Be a fan. Welcome to season 2. All right, guys. We'll see you next week.